Welcome back. It's Papa G, and this is Feral Footnotes. It's where we hang back for a few minutes and talk through what didn't get said in the main show, my podcast, The Feral Folklorist, and it's available only for patrons on Patreon. So today we're following up on the Greenbrier Ghost story of Elvizona Heaster. She's the spirit who showed up, named her killer, and got her mother to say it out loud in court. So everything you need to know about the case was in the episode, but what I want to talk about here is something else. What happens when spirits do come through and nobody wants to deal with it? So there's messages that don't fit anywhere else. And not every message from the dead comes in full sentences. Some come in patterns. It might be a name that won't stop surfacing, or a number. We've all experienced that, numbers that won't stop repeating, or a dream that repeats with too much precision. Or it might just be a gut feeling that doesn't fade when you wake up. They're not always dramatic. They're not always loud, but they stick around and they change the room. You feel it. So that's something I didn't say directly in the main episode. A lot of spirit communication doesn't feel like an event. It feels like a weight, like something has settled in, waiting for acknowledgement. So what about when a dream is not just a dream? There's a difference between regular dreaming and what you'd call a visit, one that passes through you. The other stays with you when you get up. If you sit with the dream long enough and it keeps growing roots, especially one with direct speech or physical detail, it's worth paying attention to. Doesn't mean you should act immediately, but it does mean you shouldn't brush it off. Because, in folk belief, the dead didn't just haunt for the drama of it. They came back when something needed to be said. And that's what makes the Greenbrier case interesting. The spirit wasn't vague. She didn't use signs. She spoke. And her mother, Mary Jane, listened to what she said. So, sometimes you're not the one the message is about either. You're just the one who heard it. It's a strange place to be. You carry information that wasn't asked for. So you're left deciding whether to pass it on, hold it, or ignore it. Because sometimes the conversations are uncomfortable, or you don't want to be laughed at, or it deals with a really messy subject matter. So there's no real neat answer as to what to do. But here's one rule. Once you receive something, you don't get to pretend you didn't. Even silence is a choice. That's the uncomfortable part no one likes to talk about. Then there's often someone in the family or community who notices what others won't. Sometimes it's one who's already a little bit, on the edge, the quiet one, the one who, sometimes they're the one that keeps the old stories, the only people go to when something feels off. We all have maybe someone like that in our family, or aunt or an uncle or a cousin, where they're sort of tuned in to the other side, even if they don't talk about it a lot. But if you're that person, you know what it's like to hold your tongue out of habit. And sometimes it's not a wise thing to do. Not every message needs to be shared right away. But when the message won't leave you alone, when it comes back at you over and over again, you'll know. And when it happens, you don't need anyone's permission to say it out loud. The Greenbrier story in the main episode in the podcast is rare because it led to a legal conviction. A ghost led to someone going to jail for murder. But that's not usually how it goes. In most cases, justice doesn't mean punishment. It means truth gets acknowledged. It means someone finally says, hey, this is what happened. So whether that's in a courtroom or a kitchen or just written down, set on an altar, sometimes that's enough. Doesn't mean it fixes anything, but it can shift what's been stuck. So that's what I have for this footnote about how to deal with messages from the other side that you don't know what to do with. Do go back and listen to the main podcast about the Greenbrier Ghost. If you're coming here first, try to get in the habit of listening to the podcast first. And then these footnote episodes come out on Patreon the next day. And remember, spirit communication isn't always clear and it's not always comfortable. But if something keeps showing up, especially if it's tied to like harm or silence or unfinished business, it's worth paying attention to. So remember, not every haunting needs a ritual. Sometimes it just needs someone to say, I hear you.